feels so lovely to be here tonight. What a beautiful art. Give yourself some round of applause. You're so lovely. Everyone's so lovely. And while you're in the clapping mood, I'd like to give a big round of applause to my band.
No, thank you for calling.
Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of 30-something podcast. I'm your girl Drea. We got a house full in here tonight. Woo! Y'all ain't gonna be able to see everybody else on the camera, but I'm Drea, and we have Mr. John Harper here with us, comedian, actor extraordinaire.
Everything.
Joining us for our conversation that we're going to be having a little bit later about sexual consent. Marie.
And I'm Marie.
Shame for the camera on us again. And I'm Lisa. Oh, I'm on the camera today. I was just messing with Miko. And we got Miko doing the engineering for us. And some other folks.
That's our resident in Columbus.
Right.
Y'all so orange.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And then we have Antoine Brantley. Is that your last name? Yes. And then we have Mr. Mario here. You guys can't see them. And then also we have Mr. Chris.
Our photographer.
Yes, our in-house photographer here. So we're just going to get started doing, of course, our what now before we jump into talking about consent. We talked about it beforehand, and it got real. So I'm like super excited about where this conversation is gonna go. What now? So there is a story.
Stevie Wonder. That was an intro.
Cause see, I don't want you to see my
I can't
facial
even
reaction.
tell what's happening right now. You so cool to be up in here. So
I'm just leaving, man. I feel good. I'm happy, you know.
That's awesome.
Things going right.
Yes, you've been like celebrating a lot of wins too.
Yes, I got some more. Like,
you do?
And then I'm finna look back with my long lost friend over there. So yeah.
So Anton?
Yes, he was my mentor when I first started.
Get him. Yeah, we actually, I want to talk about this. So we met John at See-Through's event. He had his album release party. And so John was emceeing the event, and we were there doing interviews and stuff like after everybody performed, and so that's where we met John. I was like, he's super cool, and so like we friend him on social media, and I've been kind of like following him in his career, and it's like really taken off. You were doing, I saw some film that you were in. It was like some kind of retro kind of look.
Oh yeah, I just came back from Alabama doing the one from that's gonna be a Spike Lee joint actually. So when that comes out, definitely I'm trying to get everybody to the red carpet. I just haven't gotten the details on it.
Cool.
So I pretty much played something that kind of put you in the mind of Martin Luther King. If y'all actually look at it and you go back and look at Martin Luther King's like older pictures where he wore the hat. Yeah.
That's dope. So we'll be hearing a lot more from him and having him back on the show. But to keep things moving, we're going to jump into what now? So, birthday. Oh, shit. Oh, it's Marie's birthday.
How old are you today, if your mama asked?
35.
Oh.
Really quick. I'll wait till then. So, it's Marie's birthday. Marie's 35. 35.
Yes.
So happy birthday, boo. We're so happy that she's here with us. She's been she just fell right into place. And if y'all know this podcast story, shit just don't be falling into place like that fast. So I'm not right to tell on. So man, sorry, bro. But you know, it's been a journey, and we've been really appreciative for everything and every person that we had along the way, because if it wasn't, you know, a blessing, it was definitely a lesson. So, you know, it's just the universe. I want to thank the universe for sending you, Marie. Yes.
Glad that you sent me you guys.
Definitely. Okay.
I had to make it was a little joke. But I want to say, actually, this day I made a comment like, I need to be on a pod. I need a pod.
Yeah, a year ago.
And so it's like a year ago today. So it's like, and then I want to say a couple months later, then we all
manifest destiny.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. Okay, so we're gonna do what now for real. So, let's see. There's Shaquille Dukes, 24 years old who was arrested misdemeanor for disorderly conduct. He was in Freeport, Illinois, which is like 100 miles outside of Chicago. And so Shaquille came down with pneumonia. He had to be treated for 2 days at the hospital in Freeport. And so while he was being treated, he had an IV drip that had like some antibiotics and steroids in it. And he was like, hey, can I go take a walk? And so the hospital was like, sure, go take a walk. So he takes his IV pole. He is in full hospital gear. You'll see in just a minute.
With his ass out and everything?
I'm sure he might have had some.
He had that
shirts on or
He might have
something.
two. Yeah, like.
But he is in full hospital regalia, okay? I'm talking about wristbands, IV in, and he's going for a walk. His boyfriend is there. They're going for a walk. And the security guard stops him and says, hey, what are you doing walking with that IV pole? Are you trying to steal hospital equipment?
That's crazy.
So he's like, what? And so the security guard then calls the police and tells the police that, hey, we got some people out here trying to steal hospital equipment that they're trying to sell online. So subsequently like, she just went awry. We're going to play the video. This is a clip from the Roland Martin show. I really couldn't find like just the clip by itself, so we're going to show like the clip that Roland had. And let you guys see
sweat on.
let you guys see how ridiculous this was when it went down.
Supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible. All right, folks, many of you saw this viral video where Shaquille Dukes was admitted to a Chicago hospital for pneumonia. Now, his doctor ordered him to walk around the hospital to help his healing. Following his doctor's orders, he was walking on the hospital grounds connected to his IV machine, and this happened.
I don't want you to remove that arm because if you pull it out,
it's Cletus. Yeah.
The doctor told me and
The professor.
that it's
Okay.
how I'm saying this
Yeah.
is bullshit. I know this game way too much. Officer Moore, you just came here. Your tone is here. Okay. Excuse me. Is Jim up there? I just spoke to Jen. Not giving you permission to leave the hospital. But nobody said it was legal. Okay, well, you're on city property, not hospital property. He took me up to hospital property.
Look up. All right, the cop said he stole the IV machine and was planning to sell it on eBay. His IV was removed and he was taken to the hospital. He has filed an official complaint. Brooke, I'm going to go to you. I know a lot of black people. I lived in Chicago 6 years.
Okay, so that was a clip from the Roland Martin show. And of course, like Roland went in, he was like, black people, he's like,
and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered by going.
You know, black people just don't get dressed up in hospital gowns to go and steal IV drips, which is correct. And so subsequently,
They made him assed out.
Right, so the police officer removed the IV from his hand. And they told him, they made the comment, I don't know if you guys heard it, that, oh, well, you're on city property, you're not on hospital property. And so it was just like, they just kept trying to, change the situation.
Health violation.
Right.
It was unsanitary.
Right.
Lawsuit.
And so he's filed a complaint alleging unfair and biased conduct by responding officers. And
that security guard, top flight.
Listen.
Because he walks smooth past him, yeah, too.
That's
he was stupid smart. He like, first of all, he think he's slick and
you just imagine like
himself to steal this one IV.
Right, to steal just one
that's in his hand.
Now you catch me with some bags.
You might get a couple bags. I mean,
But he got the basketball shorts.
Well, I don't know, because my mama used to.
So there were 3 minutes.
You have a baby. She be like, put that milk in.
I told a 12-year-old doctor, she like, get this.
So the situation actually, it got like a little bit more crazy because he also has asthma, right? And so after they, all three of the guys that were with him got arrested, and they all got charged with disorderly conduct. So he has asthma. They took away his emergency inhaler, and he started having an asthma attack while he was in the back of the police car, and they wouldn't give it back to him until they. Of course. So, I mean, this is like a multi-fold situation. And so, they took him back to the hospital, but in handcuffs, which is traumatizing. And so, it just seems like this is just another incident.
Racial.
Right. And
he went from holding hands to handcuffs.
And he's so nice about it. He said he believes the incident should prompt additional sensitivity training for both police and
sensitivity
and the hospital staff. I'm just like, you need to go get an attorney. Go get you an attorney. Don't even worry
because
about it.
Because they're going to try to appease him based on that statement of wanting sensitivity training. I don't want sensitivity training. I want my money.
I'm like, cut me a check because it makes me feel better. Money makes me feel good.
Cut me a check.
But I mean, does that change the situation? Like,
nope.
I mean, because this even goes back to, I mean, because the situation could have gone completely awry. And how many times are we going to take civil lawsuits versus like an actual indictment or actual conviction? And of course, like we see police officers now being held more accountable for their actions, more so now than before. But it's usually, I mean, regardless of whether the police officer gets held accountable or not, there's always like this huge civil suit, and like the cities are willing to shell out money but not say that they're wrong in the situation. And so I don't know, like if it's a catch-22 type situation, like should we just go for the money, or what exactly?
I would feel like I can see the value in both, but at the end of the day, too, him being indicted, one, you're never really going to change the thought process of everybody.
He's being so passive though, and I hate that.
It's not going to be everybody. So I'm going to take my money and I'm going to use this situation as a blessing. It's going to be a lesson for him and a blessing for me.
Right.
I mean, but I feel like that's not going to change. Like I think we had an incident where actually someone I knew, she's a white woman, her son walked into a bank waving a knife, a whole knife, and they called and just had him on the curb.
Wow.
And they said, he's fine, blah, blah. And that was for the first time she actually recognized, because she came from a background where she like, I'm a poor white person, I don't understand privilege.
Yeah.
And it was that day she like, so I totally understand. She's like, I totally understand now. They was like, literally, your son's okay.
Tiffany said that they have qualified immunity and the laws need to change, which is definitely true. So, I mean, they always have like that, the reasonable police statute to where it's like, oh, well, did he behave as a reasonable officer standard? It's a reasonable officer standard. I mean, if any officer was in this position, would he have reacted the same way? And of course, like with police culture being embedded in racism, of course, like all police officers are gonna, handle a situation with a black person in a more erratic way than they would if the person was not of color.
But it's all lawyer speak. It's all subjective.
Right.
Really.
Our viewers want you to take your shades off.
Take your shades off. It's not sunny inside.
It really isn't sunny.
Thing is, I like to wear my shades because, I don't have my actual prescription glasses. Who said that? Crystal? Tiffany?
Crystal Stick.
Like the glass. People that know me, the lighting messes with my eyes. Like, my eyes is, real sensitive.
I think you're just too cool to be here.
No, I'm not.
Did y'all hear that?
I'm actually not. Like, even when I take pictures, at photo shoots, it's 30, 40 shots because I'm steady.
Close your eyes.
It's one of those things. So
I'm sorry.
I didn't take 30, 40 shots.
I'm sorry, superstar.
Well, y'all heard his reason.
We just do that.
So she want to look at my eyes, then, she can go on my social media site.
Well.
What?
So, that's John Harper, you guys. I'm just kidding. So,
advertise the hell out of himself. He had flirty 30 going on.
So, 35? You were good for 35,
I was told 27.
Yeah, I can see that.
Hey, this white girl told me 21.
I don't want to know
Becky involved.
Becky told me I want the hood. You know them sisters, they be trying to knock you down. Oh, you look 35. Yeah, you look 35. Come on, I look 35.
I just said you look good for your age.
I get that. I'm saying I get that.
You can go for 27.
Let's get into the.
I get that from a lot of sisters.
Let's get into the conversation.
Yeah.
So
don't flip it.
We always gonna flip it. What you trying to say?
Oh my God! I
trying to say something.
So next up we have Venus Williams.
Here we go.
Falls to a 15-year-old Corey Coco Golf Her first round opponent in the 2019 Wimbledon Championship. She edged in about every category. So she upsetting the 39-year-old Williams, a 4-time Olympic gold medalist with 5 Wimbledon titles to her resume, to advance to the second round at the All England Club. So I just think this is super cute. They have this photo. It's going to be on the right. And Corey, she went up to her at the end. She shook her hand, but she was also like super just grateful. And she was like, it was a great game, but I just want to thank you for everything that you've done, because y'all wouldn't even be here if we weren't for you. And it was just like that gratitude and that humility was just super awesome. And I looked at her and I'm like, that is Venus at 15.
Right,
like she
exactly.
looks like her. And just to see like black women winning, you know, on that level, and not to say like Venus has, you know, past her prime. Well, yeah, she is past her prime.
I'm gonna say
Yeah, she's 39. Like she's past her prime. She's still good.
But if
Don't
she
get me wrong.
hadn't, if she didn't have that illness,
You
she'd
wanna
actually
enjoy the
still
money,
be
though.
bad. So that's the illness really takes over her playing ability nowadays, because she's still a real good player. You know, I love tennis. So.
I know you took your baby to
US
US
Open.
Open.
Yeah, hopefully I go this year.
You actually went to the U.S. Open?
Last year, and I got to see Venus and Serena compete against each other.
Were you like the only black person in the crowd?
No, it's a whole lot of us.
I'm just.
It was a whole lot of us.
Don't be offended.
I'm not.
Please.
What is going on?
I know what's going on with her.
I'm not. Like, why would I be offended because he said that?
I'm just saying I said something
You
about
messing up our
sisters a while
story.
ago.
I hope y'all stay with us.
Keep going,
'cause I
Dre,
don't know
on
where
the
this
story.
conversation's finna go.
It's finna go where it's gonna go. I'm open. We can talk.
What now, Drea?
Yeah.
What now? Tell us what.
Tell me what now.
Man, if you only know.
Open book, baby. That's how I got where I'm at.
Okay.
I'm honest. Let's go.
Is you finished or is you done?
She said, now you push it back. I'm gonna
Let's go and take over the show.
comments
Man.
and hand it
So
to
It's your boy
no.
Jay Hall, man.
Leave it
So coming in the
alone.
building.
Lick your lips. You
Check me out.
chat, brother.
We got
There's some really
4
good
beautiful
shit
black women in here. I've never dated outside my race. I don't know why they don't want to get to the topic that we supposed
Who's talking about dating outside
Because we
race?
running our show the way we run our show.
She was trying to make it like, so I was talking.
Oh, earlier.
You
I
what
always
Phoenix-
say that.
I'm not.
We need to get back on the what now.
I told you that. I already told you what you were going to do. What's going on?
He made
I love women.
He rushing us to the topic.
72%
This is why we asked him to
women.
come on the show. I
So
swear
know
to
that.
God.
Yeah, that's I love
Can we
women.
stay
We
on
ain't,
our-
gonna, we ain't gonna make it. We gonna be 2 hours in this bitch.
2 hours.
So
Hey, we can talk all
I got
that.
something to do tonight.
So this is really horrible what I'm about to do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so done.
I have an interview.
I'm finna go.
You got interview. How you know I interviewing you right now? You already gave me consent when you talked to me.
Oh, so
Let me go. I'm gonna leave you alone.
Next.
so
What now?
we got y'all. We got 2 more topics on one now. Then we
That's
gonna
your
move-
friend sitting next
God
to you.
damn.
You actually suggested him.
I ain't know he was
Get your
gonna
company.
come.
Like, get your company.
Okay.
Dre was the one that asked this nigga to come. Jeez, your guess. Yeah, I'm sorry. He don't know how to act in front of company.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, man.
this is the migrants. So Rio Grande Valley migrant facilities. We have some photos of the migrant facilities that are in the Rio Grande area. They have been identified as being in poor condition. The rest of them.
Those are not the migrants.
In another sector of the southern border. Those are the graphic photos. There were actually like a lot more, but they had no access to showers. They have no access to showers and have to sleep on concrete floors.
Wait a minute, I'm mad that they sitting in there with their foil like after Thanksgiving.
It's not foil, it's
like
a
the
blanket.
refrigerator after Thanksgiving.
It's like
It's a flame
it
retardant
look like foil
blanket.
though.
Right, it is
It
aluminum.
look like the refrigerator after Thanksgiving. You wrap
That's all
up
they
foil.
have. They don't have blankets. That's their blanket.
Why can't they? Why they won't let them leave?
They won't give them soap.
They won't give them soap, toothpaste,
They
anything.
when
They
people
even
try
ask
to
them.
make donations to them about with like diapers, wipes, toiletries, things of that sort, they turn them
reject
away.
everything.
They said that they don't need soap, and they don't because they don't have access to showers apparently.
Well, did you see where the security guards or whatever they are in there were laughing at them, and they made an excuse? Congress, they said, well, they're just uncomfortable or they're just under a lot of stress, and so that's why they were making fun of the migrants.
But how could they even like call that a sanitary living condition?
Look, they on top
It's
of
not
each
because you're
other.
sleeping on concrete
just
floors.
like
And then they
Yeah.
separated the adults from the children. So you have 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds taking care of toddlers or
Right.
just doing the best that they can.
Right.
I
It says that migrants being held in temporary facilities for weeks rather than days. Single adults living in standing room only cells with no place to lie down, and concerns about serious health risks. Border Patrol was holding 8,000 detainees in custody, with 3,400 being held longer than the 72-hour limit. There was another photo that I couldn't get, but there was like a holding cell that they had inside, and it had a window, and the media was shooting into the holding cell in the window, and there were people holding up like a cardboard signs where they have written like been in here for 40 days, like type situations. And so it's just and of course like I'm trying to, here it is, the acting person that was over the Border Patrol, they have actually stepped down because of the conditions of, so I don't even know what's going to happen, like who's in charge of all this. They said that the DHS Office of the Inspector General toured 5 Border Patrol facilities and 2 ports of entry in the Rio Grande Valley during the week of June 10th and published a report as a management alert. And this is just something that's just happening consistently. It's not changing. It was situations where they talked about some of the men like needing dental care that were there, and we don't have dental care. So they're actually like taking their socks and pulling the thread out and like removing their own teeth because they don't have any dental care. Like they won't give them anything outside of actual antibiotics. We've heard stories about babies that are dying after leaving the camp. It was one kid, she came down with pneumonia after she left. Mom took her to the hospital, but of course like it had taken so long that the baby ended up dying.
That's sexual assault as well.
Right, there's sexual assault going on. The guards are sexually assaulting the women that are being held there. It's just really like, it is really crazy to me to find out that this is happening not only in America, but in this state.
Right.
Yeah, Texas is the plantation state.
Yeah. It's the redneck state.
Right.
Well, did they kind of like look at how they fit in the cars at the same time, how they can pack up in the cars and be like, oh, they probably can fit in this.
And then
detention center.
Are you saying something like in form of like planking?
And then there's also that picture, the photograph. You remember of the father who was trying to
the father and daughter that washed up on
and they took of the father face down with the baby next to him. The baby, he went to go save his wife, and the baby went after him and fell back into the river after they had already made it across. And so he ended up dying, and the baby died, and they washed on shore. And the media took a photo of it and posted it on the news. They're both face down in the water, and it's like in the weeds. And they took a photo of it, and the baby was like wrapped up in the daddy's shirt, because you could tell like that he had the baby in there to try to, kept carrying him while he was trying to get through the water. It was just so insensitive. And I really don't even, what is the answer?
Would you deem it as insensitive or really just trying to get the nation's attention? I mean, because to some people, like, this isn't really, some people feel like, well, it isn't our problem, or to even take, especially even a lot of pro-life, so we taking it, now we stepping up for them, we ain't got our own. So it's a whole different thing where I feel like, even too, there's times when we look at the civil rights movements, there's times they know they walked into something that was a disaster, but they knew media was going to pick that up, and that was going to change, like the nation was going to be touched by that. It was going to make them, people don't move until they're pushed. People don't, it takes something really drastic or terrible for people to want to see change something, or they do nothing. We're so complacent.
I feel what you're saying, but I'm thinking right now, 2019, we so desensitized to death. We so desensitized to seeing people die, to seeing, people dead. We got people who go and shoot people on a live just for likes, you know what I'm saying, just for attention. And it's really crazy and I feel like that this just plays into that. I don't feel like we needed that graphic photo to say that shit was already horrible. Like, people have been crossing the border.
About it.
I mean, we are doing, and I don't feel like there's anything that's going to be done about it.
I don't know what they would do. I mean, if we hadn't destabilized those countries' governments, which is the main, like, we're the reason. Our war on drugs, what we've done among those other leaders, we're the reason they're coming here.
Right.
We created that. Now it's like, well, we gone now. Y'all figure that shit out on your own.
Right.
And they're like, no, we're trying to get away from that.
Right. And it's like they're out picking fruit for 5 cents an hour. And that's no way to live. And you're running from drug cartels. The Mexican government is so corrupt. They're in bed with the cartel, and it's nowhere to live.
Everyone's government.
But we are so gun ho about using language that depicts people as less than human. Like, how can you say that a person is illegal? A human being is not illegal. And when you keep referring to someone as being an illegal person, then you don't humanize them. Like, you just, they are a thing, they're not a person. And so, he died trying to cross, he shouldn't have tried to cross over here. So it's like, well, they're illegals, that's what illegals do.
See,
no, they're just people trying to survive.
Like people brainwashed, because they don't teach you that in school, that, you know, the Hispanics, the Mexicans, everybody that's trying to get over here actually owns the land. So
they did own the land at one time. Right. They stole that shit.
And then
they actually still own it, just don't have the power to obtain it.
And the most fascinating of this is the Mexicans who have problems with, like, immigration issues, and the Mexicans who ain't real Mexicans, like, they come here and they turn into coconuts. Right?
What's the coconut?
They brown on the outside and white on the inside.
That's my daughter.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like, they don't want to speak Spanish. They denounce all things Mexican.
Now, I wish them to say that way, because those elotes be hidden.
I wish I had a history to connect to. I wish I had something that I could go back and say, hey, this is where I come from, this is my culture, and be proud of that. I don't know where the hell we from. We just do shit like to rehab being black.
I think it's still kind of, there's a few pieces. Like, I think just no different than we used to. You see a lot of African Americans being super conservative in the 1950s. We have to be 50. Even too, like, you wear your hair natural. That's a problem, because we want to look the part, because we're trying to prove that we're equal. It's not that necessarily we think they're better than us, so we're trying to act just like them. And I feel like that would be probably a first generation immigrant that would come here with that same, I'm trying to prove that I'm equal to him, so I'm going to mimic him. I'm going to mirror whatever I see him do. No different than we be the first one to spend some money somewhere and they only want our damn money. Because we trying to prove, well, I can do what you can do. So I don't see that being different. Then we got to remember too, they're victims of colonization. Their real culture was taken from them. Their religion, their language, everything was stripped from them. They were colonized by the Spaniards, another white group. So to even say, well, they don't even have much, to be honest.
The Mexican culture is pretty rich compared to
ours.
Compared to ours, the fact that we don't have it. Like, I mean, it's cool.
But they're not educated.
We go do 20.
It's usually the Asians, and even too, they're talking about the immigration now. The large amount of immigrants here are not Hispanics. They're not Mexican. They're Asians.
Yeah.
They're people coming over from India. They're people coming over from Africa.
With super. And
they don't know how to work the system.
Right. And they will sleep in the back of the nail shop and of the Chinese restaurant, and they'll get their bread and send their bread right back over to Vietnam. It's something that we can't even practice group economics within our own communities. They send the shit back home. So it's crazy. To end, my next story that we're going to talk about is y'all's president.
There you go.
45. So I thought this is y'all. He's funny to me. Like, it's to the point now where it's like I have to laugh, because there is nothing more ridiculous than him. Like, the stuff that he says, the stuff that he cares about, the fact that, like, he was literally trying to, like, press the issue with Iran, and they was like, we will blow this motherfucker. He was like, well, maybe we weren't trying to, they weren't trying to be we might have been intruding in their airspace, so maybe we should just call it a wash. And it was like, nah, you ain't want no smoke, bro.
Nah, he didn't want that smoke, bro. Iran smoke, nah.
At all.
It was gonna nuke your ass.
Right.
It was gonna nuke I was hoping they would go for the White House first.
So we have the same conversation when he gets back in office?
Yeah, he is going to get reelected.
I mean, he's going to get reelected due to the fact that we have an oversaturated market of Democrats.
I'm black.
They're all so different.
We survive no matter what.
No, I don't figure this shit out either way.
I don't care.
I've been
So he has decided that he's having a 4th of July celebration. And it is absolutely ridiculous. So he has decided to take, he's going to do whatever he's going to do. It's teetering between patriotism and nationalism, right? So
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So he's getting like 2 of these M1 military grade armored vehicles and bringing them. He's so excited about this. He's bringing them on to the White House property. And and then they're going to have a fireworks from the river, and he's going to give a speech from the Lincoln Memorial. So he's
gonna give a "I Have a Dream" speech.
Like, who should he finna plagiarize? Like, wait a minute.
Right.
So, do y'all feel some type of way about that because nothing was done with Juneteenth? Because that's actually our day.
I don't expect anything from him.
Right.
I'm just saying, period. Like, as far as you know what I mean, like. Does that make you feel some type of way?
Why do we need someone else to celebrate who we are, though?
Right.
I mean, I would like it to be like a federal national holiday for the benefits of my friends.
I was
still
out
being
for
paid.
it.
I went out and drank because I treat it like St. Patrick's Day.
But I'm saying like people party more.
You
for
imagine
the
the black
versus,
people.
But also a lot of black people,
work.
you know, now we're a little bit more conscious than
So
we
work
were,
is the reason
or we
why
have
you
awareness.
don't know
But a lot of
your-
people didn't know what Juneteenth was, especially if you're not from Texas. You may not know what Juneteenth is.
So you have to be from Texas.
I'm just saying you wouldn't know about it because Juneteenth is really about slaves in Texas being emancipated because they weren't aware where slaves in other places were emancipated. But even too, there were slaves that were owned by Native American tribes that were not emancipated even after Juneteenth.
Jonathan said, no, we don't want him celebrating Juneteenth. He ain't going to
ain't no telling what the hell he did. He done had watermelon and fried chicken on the line.
I know some really good blacks.
No.
Like, don't worry, I brought them from some KFC for shit in Popeyes.
Right.
They have this table full of all
A table full of watermelon and chicken.
All the watermelon.
The best watermelon ever.
It's seedless. Like, so you gave us genetically modified fucking
watermelon.
watermelon.
Was without seeds.
Yeah, that's genetically modified.
So, but I just,
Monsanto.
everybody was like talking about how crazy the celebration was because as America, we usually like believe in diplomacy and try to avoid like conflicts with military, and all he wants to do is beef up the military. Every time you turn around, that's all he's talking about is the military. Then he brings these 2 big tankers out to celebrate. What do the tankers have to do?
And it's just why he's always doing stuff to overcompensate.
But what does the tankers have to do with 4th of July? I just feel like
little man syndrome.
Yeah,
he just be doing
it's like he always trying to have a little pissing match somewhere. He like, let me show you, mine is bigger than yours.
Yeah, so those are the actual
Look at my
tankers.
toys.
He got 2 of them joints, and I heard him. He was like so excited. He was like, we had to be careful when we brought those in because the ground the pavement isn't really made for those, and the pavement will give way. And it's like, dude, don't nobody give a shit
Maybe
about
he's
this.
celebrating like the $90 billion in tax dollars he collected from.
But how we celebrating when we got people locked up in pens with no soap and no?
Well, the same way they
with
give back in the
blankets.
slavery days. I mean, it's nothing new.
He gonna give them
just
hot dogs.
modernized.
Like, what the
Yeah.
hell? Well, I mean, at least they was getting labor off.
But
the
you know,
state. They just
Obama
locked them-
got deemed quickly too. He had some in the inside of like a little cages, but he came quickly with like an explanation.
He did.
Like, that's my boy, but he be fucking up too.
Well, I think that they all do, and I feel like when it comes down to politics,
It is what it is.
black people have
No
this
matter what color
misconception that just
totally.
because he was black, he was supposed to be the great black hope, and that's cool when you got enough votes.
We need to say
When you got when you
Whoever,
got
anyone.
enough votes
Anyone
to
will
be the
do.
great black hope, but he didn't. That was one man, and he was on the front, and you
He like, I ain't know. Like, got this shit. Like, I thought
They aged the hell out of my president.
Yes.
He left.
He
And
had gray hair within like a year and a half.
I mean, the whole thing. I'm glad he still got his hair.
That's like when you realize, like, you think you want something really bad, then you realize it ain't what you thought it was. You're like I was just trying to hope and change.
And then he got.
For real.
Then he got reelected. Like, damn, I was hoping.
I told y'all wasn't going. But I feel like that second go round, we just voted him in anyway. Like, I know y'all ain't gonna do shit, let this man pass shit, but I'm gonna vote for him anyway.
Right. So, we're gonna do a commercial break. Yeah, we're gonna do a commercial break, and then when we come back, what we're gonna show is a video that kind of defines consent. It's a video from Planned Parenthood. But the thing is that I feel like we need to lay down the black and white before we start discussing the gray area. And so we're going to do a commercial break, and then y'all get to watch some of that video, and then we'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
And while you're in the clapping mood, I'd like to give a big round of applause to my band.
the places you sleep, the fun you have along the way, have just as much effect on the music as the notes that you play.
We have Antoine Bentley on the show. He's going to be talking about working.
Brantley,
excuse me. I apologize. He's going to be talking to us about working with his significant other, with them working together, and perhaps something about his food he'll be bringing us next week.
Okay.
So you can tell us about your.
Name of our company is Bentley Brand Fine Foods and Catering. Next week we're going to talk about working with couples. It's hard, but it's easy because you're around your spouse, all day, every day, and y'all talk about businesses. So, but if you want to work hard together, then everything it's gonna work out.
How long have you had your business?
We had our business for over 10 months, and it's been a success. We're pretty known in the city for having good food, and everybody eats our food. We're gonna bring this Dirty Leg next week, so everybody can come and get one.
So
try it.
Tell them what the Dirty Leg is.
The Dirty Leg is a turkey leg stuffed with dirty rice and shrimp. And then we also have a dirty leg that's called a welcome home with macaroni cheese, stuffing, and a side of sweet potato with cranberry sauce.
So that's the whole Thanksgiving dinner right there.
Yes. So the welcome home, is that like for the people who came home from the pen?
No, we just say welcome home. Like, when you go to Thanksgiving dinner, then it's good.
Yeah.
That's how I was going to work out.
I'm just asking.
Right. That one will work out for me.
Yeah, we could just do one without the shrimp that you don't eat.
But we eat shrimp.
We just wanted to bring Antoine.
We want shrimp.
Yeah, they eat shrimp. I don't.
We all eat shrimp.
You got it.
But he's going to be on next week.
Yeah, we do homemade pizza, but we're not doing that tomorrow. Next week, you can call and get homemade pizza.
You bring a homemade pizza next Tuesday.
Yeah, so stuffing. He did say stuffing. Sam says stuffing. So we always like to give a shout out to Black business. We support all things Black here on this podcast. So Antoine and his wife, next week we're going to be talking about couples who work together. He works with his wife with Bentley Fine Foods.
And catering.
Facebook
and Instagram.
It's Brantley.
It's Brantley.
But Brantley is his name, but his company is
Bentley. So that's what was throwing me off.
Oh, okay.
It's Bentley and Brantley, but on the Facebook page, it's Bentley Fine Foods and Catering. That's what it started off.
See,
but as a whole, that we went downtown, it's Bentley and Brantley.
Oh, okay.
So for branding purposes,
yes.
It's, say that one more time.
It's Bentley and Brantley Fine Food. That's what
yes, and you can follow him on social media. He will definitely run you a plate. For
and
sure.
he'll tag you.
And the number is 469-865-4436. That's my direct line. You can call me. I deliver. And I'll make sure you get it right and you have enough food.
Yeah, and so that if you see the pictures on there, that's his food there.
All there right there.
Yeah, and so every night, I
right
swear to God, it'll be like anywhere between 8 p.m. and 2 a.m. He will hit you up and tag you in the photo and say, hey, this is what I'm serving tomorrow. Go ahead and put, so you can see what's available for the next day if you want to order food, and then he'll drop the food off to you.
And
so
we'll be back next week to taste test.
Yeah, so we're gonna taste test his food next weekend, and y'all know we'll tell them if it's good or not.
I need to get a confirmation on that pizza though.
I don't.
Yes.
No confirmation from you.
Well, you.
I ain't got to.
He's not gonna be here next week.
I ain't got
if you
to
don't
the
have
point where I
pizza.
just shake my
Okay,
head. I
that's
just
fine.
say.
I mean, you know, if you don't want me to come build your show because you don't want the pizzas, that's great.
We
No,
want
she
you to
wants the
bring the
pizza.
pizza.
So she's obsessed with pizza. I don't know if you
I
noticed the
noticed
pizza shirt. She also has a tattoo of a slice of pizza. She is
Do you have a
real.
pizza Band-Aid on today too?
Yeah, I cut myself.
She loves pizza, so that's why.
Wow.
That's why she keeps talking about pizza.
Okay.
Bring the pizza, please, Mr. Brantley.
She ain't got nobody at home.
Mrs. Brantley.
Salmon.
Hey. Hey.
No, I got. You know, I'm very blessed.
My
to have
interview
that,
gonna
you
bring
know.
me some food.
Yo,
Interview.
Lord have mercy. But
We'll see y'all next week.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll see them next week when he
me and
comes
Jackie
back.
Jones will be here next week. to
That's
talk
his
about
wife. They're gonna be the chef, and they'll be back bringing a meal for us next week. So y'all will see Antoine and Ken. And so right now we're gonna jump into the video about consent. We're not gonna show the whole video, but you guys, where you can kind of catch the drift of where we're trying to go with this conversation. We'll be right back.
All right. We'll be right back. I like that.
Thank you.
Do you really have a piece of that?
I do.
Yeah.
I thought that was
You
like.
ain't
Come
even-
on.
Look, I'm like, y'all move so quick, I ain't get enough time to pull up my little information. That's what I'm like, you like,
I was like, what you like?
because I was trying to pull it up to make sure, because I kept hearing Bentley and Brittany, so I ain't want, I'm like, okay, I ain't want to fuck it up, then like, okay, whatever.
I'm
Actually,
contacting
there's only one way. I need to tell you. You need to have consent.
How many seconds we got
But-
before you move?
Let's
What
play the
does
videos like
consent
this.
really mean? Consent means both parties are really, truly into what's going on. This means that nobody is being guilted or pressured into doing anything. Silence does not equal consent. Some people think it's not rape unless there's fighting, screaming, or someone yelling no. But that's not true. Communication doesn't always happen with words. Body language can say a lot if you pay attention. Are they leaning in or are they pulling away? Do they look happy or do they look uncomfortable? Are they kissing you back or are they just staying kind of still? You have to pay attention to all the signals. This includes body language and words. No one can read minds, so it's always good to talk about it. Asking for consent doesn't have to be awkward. Asking for consent can actually be kind of sexy.
Want to show me your bedroom?
Show me where you want me to touch you.
Do you want to help me take these clothes off?
So, let's break this consent thing way down. 1, everyone's clear about what's about to happen next, and they're happy about it. If you're making out with someone for the first time and you want to go further, check in first.
I'm gonna take your shirt off.
Want to try something different?
2, everyone in the situation has to feel free to be able to say no without being pressured or hassled. It's not cool to pressure people into doing stuff they're obviously uncomfortable with, or make them feel bad for saying no or wanting to stop things. Being pushy or manipulative makes for some pretty bad sex. And obviously, if a person is drunk, high, passed out, or asleep, it's not okay to do sexual stuff with them. They can't consent when wasted or unconscious. So doing this is actually rape. 3, be honest about whether or not you're on birth control, have an STD, or having sex with other people. Wouldn't you want to know that? If you're going to get naked with someone, you have to have trust and honesty. 4, saying yes to sex once doesn't mean you're saying yes to it forever. It may be tough to pause in the middle of some super sweet action, but your partner has the right to stop at any time. And 5, sex is all about connections and pleasure, right? If everyone feels respected, sex will be much better for both of you. We all deserve a safe, pleasurable, and awesome sex life. The more respect you show to the other person, the more they'll trust you enough to relax and enjoy. And the more honest you are about what you want and don't want, the better things will go. It's easy to talk about what consent means, but what does it look like in real life? How are we supposed to know for sure how far someone wants to go or if they want to get intimate at all? Check out our other videos for tips on how to do this consent thing right.
next conversation.
Teacher voice?
Is there an agenda?
Okay, Lord, we're back. So, the video kind of depicted like the black and white of consent and what what it should look like, right? I feel like our conversation that the actual encounters that we have are more gray, and I think it's because we don't actually have the conversation. Like the actual conversation about sex never takes place, right? Beforehand is that there's a lot of insinuation that goes on. There's a lot of mixed signals. There's just a lot of assumptions that are made.
Yeah, that's a better word.
Right, there are a lot of assumptions that are made, and so we brought John in to kind of bring in some perspective. And I also, what prompted this show, I will say this first because I want to issue this disclaimer, is what prompted the show is I put up a post about, it was a hypothetical situation, and I just wanted to see how men responded, and I went through and I said, I needed some male perspective, and I said, well, if you're alone with a woman who you're attracted to and you become aroused, how hard is it for you to refrain from trying to have sex with her? How hard is it for you to refrain from having sex with her, right? And so I had 104 comments of the most sketchiest, rapiest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Is rapey a word?
Rapey can be. Rapey is a word because I feel like rape. Like we love rape culture, especially like in the black community. Like it's heavy in the black community. Rape culture. It's embedded in our music, hip hop. It's just that's what we have come to accept as being normal is rape culture. And so I'm not going to issue a blanket statement. I will give this statement beforehand. I don't feel like all men are like this. I feel like that there are some true gentlemen out there. But I will say from my experience and from the other co-hosts that we have here and other friends that I have talked to, women, of course, that most men miss the signs and they feel like it's okay to try to have sex with women even if they feel like they misread the signs. So a lot of the comments that were in there were they all needed qualifiers for my situation, and so I had to go back and break it down even farther. And I'm like, well, no, you've never had sex with this girl before, but y'all went out on a date. She came back to your house. How would you handle the situation? But you are attracted to her. You feel like you want to have sex with her. How hard is it for you to keep from trying to have sex with her? It got very hard, and it depends on if she giving me any signs. And I'm like, well, what kind of signs? What
does she have on, and why did she come back?
Right. So I'm definitely and so one of the comments on there was,
what
you
does it
haven't.
mean? I've never understood that either. Netflix and chill.
So
I don't know. I am.
Watch the TV.
A lot of the guys, the comments was like,
okay.
Well, if she feeling me, then I'm gonna try to shoot my shot. And I'm like, well, what kind of hints is she giving you that she feeling you? She looking at me.
Being over there at 2 a.m. doesn't mean that
she looking at me.
You gotta be at work and your kids at home.
She looking at me in my eyes. She's touching me, right?
That's what you
mean. And she's laughing at my jokes, things of that sort. So all of the comments that I read boiled down to the same behavior that a woman would have if she was just interested in you, if she liked you. And so now that you are in a situation where you're alone with her and if she's still acting like she likes you, then now her presence is now consent for you to try to have sex with her. And I think is that a lot of guys don't think that there's anything wrong with trying to have sex with a woman.
So they
don't consider it as being rapey if
It's rapey. I can't get
If
past
they try to have sex with a
Explain to me,
woman,
elaborate on the
Don't
rape.
touch him. Don't touch his arm
Because
because
see,
he
I
might
didn't
get a
consent to
mixed
you rubbing and
signal.
caressing my wrist right now.
right?
Yeah.
You're right. I'm
gonna have to
sorry.
whip out my non-disclosure. Hey, but now for real, like, I'm trying to figure out like what constitutes rapey. Like, what
So rapey is if I'm at your house and it's midnight and you might like the dress I have on. You might think I'm real cute, right?
Okay.
And you, just because I'm acting like I like you or whatever, you decide to, we're not having a conversation about this. We never talked about sex before or anything. So since you're aroused physically,
right?
You feel the need to act on that. That's rapey.
So that's not like two spirits aligning and like he's just feeling the woman. Like,
But
he's
you're
not
the only
forcing
one
himself.
feeling anything. You just
But you're
said-
not having a conversation with her.
You're
Okay,
just
now I'm gonna take
feeling the
my
woman.
glasses out. So you're saying that a man
Like, he
can't
gotta
be in
hear
a
you
room
better
and
with the
connect with a
glasses on.
woman, and it just be that he has to be thinking about taking her to bed.
Well, that's what we're
That's
saying
not
in that
what-
scenario. I guess in some degree.
Well, that's what she was
I'm
saying.
saying if you're sexually, if you're
Even if you
sexually
arouse
aroused,
me, I still don't have to. That's what I'm saying. Like, where does the rapey come in? That's what I'm trying to
is when you act on it.
Okay.
Were
so
you listening?
now, if she's putting back those same signs, let's flip it.
But what do you feel like those signs are?
It wouldn't be you touching my arm.
What would it be?
I would say we sticking each other's tongue in our throat.
So now if I kiss you, it's okay for you to enter my body.
Not like that.
You
So it's like I think that's like first base. That's like first base. Like, you know, you lean
First
in.
base.
First y'all like, you chilling, you know.
Say home run, right?
Boom. And then it turns into, if you digging me, I'm not speaking for every other man.
Who gave me?
Okay, so let me just speak from my perspective.
What's your scenario?
No, see you, wait.
What's the problem?
Yeah.
Okay.
The problem I have is women are too promiscuous. I have the problem of, I get snatched everywhere. And I'm trying to I'm curbing every piece of, ever since I got into this
Well, he's a
business,
stand-up black man.
and I'm like, serious, like, it's like crazy.
He's celibate.
They just
I'm celibate right now. Yeah, I'm not even messing around. I ain't talking to nobody.
He
I'm
worked
not,
on himself.
Yeah, I'm good. So,
Hey.
I'm just learning.
Can I tell you something?
What?
Men are even more promiscuous than women.
That's fine. We supposed that with the alpha. Yeah, we supposed to.
Now, why are you supposed to?
I mean, why not? What's wrong with being like attracted to a woman? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
There's nothing wrong with being attracted to a woman.
What's wrong with being sexually aroused by a woman?
There's nothing wrong with being sexually aroused by a woman. It's
Okay.
when you act on it without her consent.
I get that, but it's a thin line. I'm just.
How thin is
What is
that?
the thin line?
What y'all saying, rapey? Like nobody want to feel like they
I feel like you
rapey.
Of course you don't want to feel that way.
The women try to rape you every day, V.
I was just saying on my
Like,
I'm not speaking for
snatch
other
you,
men.
matter of fact.
Y'all speaking in a collective. I was just going into what I deal with.
So how do you deal with that? How does it
I
make you
curve.
feel?
I just said I
How does it
curve
make you
them.
feel?
I curve them.
How does it
How
make
do you
you
curb
feel?
them?
What are your actions?
I actually feel
You feel
a sense of
violated?
relief because I know I'm not ugly. That's one.
First of all,
Oh, you feel Aisha carried us. He's like, so I feel wanted.
I have the attention.
Okay.
Okay.
I secure it, but he's with a bad
You want some money. Okay. See, we're not going to go there with you. But, look, I just feel like, you know, even if I'm telling the woman, like, hey, don't do this,
My face?
this ain't going like this, it still turns into,
I'm reading.
I'm being pressured
So you're
to,
flattered by the pressure?
flattered by the
What are you
pressure.
I'm
pressured
saying
to do?
you like it. What do they want you to do?
It says, does anyone else keep dropping out of the video? What video?
That video popped
Oh,
up.
somebody blocking it.
Oh.
It's an error logging.
Oh,
Somebody
okay.
blocking it.
My live is still up.
Somebody's blocking it.
You know, they be hating.
I'm still up.
But,
She might be tricky.
so the thing is that we brought, and Antoine's still here, and Mario is here. And so we brought the guys in to get, and not to even argue about what the
I love it.
difference in perspective is, because there's nothing to argue about, is that we have a different reality than y'all. We just do. Like, y'all don't come into contact with men in one-on-one situations, and there's a definite power dynamic difference when it comes between women and men. And so I could just imagine if it was like a homosexual type situation and one person had like more dominance than the other person, and it happens, like our black men, they get raped and molested by other men and women sometimes.
I'm gonna tell you, what about if the woman is like super aggressive towards another woman?
Right.
I mean, that does happen.
No, it happens.
Uncomfortable.
I've never seen a woman turn down another woman.
Listen, let me tell you, I was at Winco and the stud tried to holler at me, I ran. Like, I don't
get extra uncomfortable. You're like,
I'm just saying, like,
and I have friends that are gay, you know, studs, skims, whatever. But it's different when it's coming at you, and of course, like with my history, I just don't, I can't. Like I clam up, I start acting real weird, and it's like I can be friends with you, I can be cool with you, but
try to talk to me.
But don't come at me like that, because I don't know how to respond well to situations like that. But even in that, it's still just like that masculine type of energy though.
They
come harder than men.
Yeah, they almost just as disrespectful.
Right.
It's a massage.
It's like say little mama, and it's like
you're a woman.
And like I was telling the guys earlier, I hate being in a situation where I'm by myself and I gotta walk past a group of men. Like I have to strategically plan this out in my head about how I'm about to go about the situation. Right. And it's like, should I act like I'm on the phone? Should I call somebody and like be distracted? Because the last thing we want is to walk past somebody and you say you ain't interested in it. Well, fuck you then, bitch, and blah, blah, blah. Like niggas will be so aggressive, and guys can say all day long, that's not me, but it's somebody. Like I have seen it happen too many times. You
walk past niggas and not men.
Man, same. I'm saying it's the same thing.
Yeah, we had that conversation.
Yeah, it's. I'm using a
lot of men that hang out with niggas.
Right. And who are the men?
Yes.
I mean, listen, but it's like,
But are you checking the dude?
Are you really that bothered by men actually admiring you, how you look, your
If
booty?
you get admired a lot, then it's not really that
Right.
it's not special.
But I'm just saying what
so you don't want to be. So in essence, sometimes as a woman, so every woman's different, right? So I'm sure if you don't get a lot of attention.
Every woman different.
Everybody want to be asked.
But going back
so no woman likes attention.
If you feel like you're constantly sexualized, or you men are constantly.
No, you're a piece of lady.
Yeah, you don't know. I feel
like
you
still want attention.
Listen.
From my man.
So.
Are you single? Yeah.
Interviewing.
Listen.
But you ain't got a man, so what you talking about?
And Jonathan made a really good point. He said admiring and disrespecting are two different things, and I think that men don't actually, some men don't take into account of the fact that when you're being disrespectful, I said some. There are certain contexts, like even you could be in a group situation and there's some men there, and just because they think you cool, that they can like say some off the wall ass shit to you. Miko, we had this conversation, and it's like we don't know how to respond, and so we just either end up taking it, or if we wild out, then it's like, oh, here's the angry black bitch. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so we really don't even know how to respond to situations. It's like, oh, we cool, and you don't want to be the bitch, right? And so it's like, well, should I say something? Should I not say something? Now, if it's more than one of us, we can feel empowerment together and be like, say, nigga, like, don't, be out the way. But if it's just us, and it's like, damn, I thought we were cool, and then y'all get around y'all homeboys and start with that testosterone and that energy and like say something out the way, or like I didn't have a homeboy like hit me on my ass, and I'm like, we had to have a whole conversation afterwards, and I had to punch him in his chest and was like, because because we had been friends for.
She do it while she didn't realize he was going to do it, so she would have to address it after it happened.
It threw me off. Like I was still processing shit for I was processing shit for like 30-45 minutes after it happened. He done moved on, and I'm still like, this nigga. I'm like, when we start doing that?
And then you almost wanted to do something. Is there something I said or did that made this seem like this was acceptable?
Yeah,
you be the outcast.
Because even I feel like you try to, as victims, you blame yourself. So it's like, what did I do? What could I have done to avoid the situation? No different than saying, you know what, I'm not going to go to a man's house at this time in the morning. I'm not going. That doesn't. I shouldn't have to do that. But going back to
sexual consent.
No, it doesn't.
When you are putting yourself in a situation and you don't fully know a nigga, because you're going over a nigga house, you're not going over a man house, baby.
No, you're going over the nigga that you think you know.
Because he wants to get to feel you out first before he invites you into his domicile, if that makes sense.
Right.
A real man.
Okay.
Because I don't even want you in my house because simple fact that Well, for one, I'm getting mine remodeled, but I'm just saying for anybody else.
I can't deal with this nigga right now.
You know, it's a whole lot of factors with that. Like, you don't want to. I don't know. You ruin the relationship when you do that because you already starting off as, you know, like shacking up.
But you already feel like women are promiscuous anyway.
That's a little too much.
You already have this preconceived notion that women are promiscuous anyway.
I said towards me. I can't speak for nobody else.
He said, you know, with me,
that's the problem I have.
like, I walk through and they just tell
it's a problem
I'm
for
just
me.
trying to.
Like, I have to hide, bro. Like, you don't understand it.
That's why he wear the glasses.
Bruh, hey, man, bruh. Hey, that's why I work, like you said.
Listen, but I mean, welcome to a woman's reality. Because if you even look just a little bit cute, right? Like even the most basic of females got to usually beat niggas off of her.
All they got
usually,
to have some ass and
right. And it's like a girl won't even be cute, but if she got on some tights.
Okay, so here they come back out. So what if it's not about ass and titties? What if I like your teeth and your face? I ain't even look down. I didn't even look down.
But the brain with me, we have a conversation. So
but that's what I'm talking about. Initial concept.
What if I know y'all can hear me, but what if you're having a conversation and y'all are feeling each other's brains, so the man might think that that's sexual content because y'all vibe.
So that man is a sapiosexual.
Because they're feeling each other's brains.
There's nothing wrong with that word.
It's just a
But do you feel like maybe that's an assumption? And the thing is, like I said before,
so you've never been attracted to, you never felt that, like?
I have been in the room with a guy that I have wanted to have sex with, and I did not. I refrained from, because the thing is, y'all get this in your head.
I asked you why you
I'm telling you why.
Okay.
Because
it sounded like you was about to go around the real answer.
No, I didn't have sex with him because I didn't want him to think that I was a certain way. And niggas can say stuff all day long about how we grown and I ain't gonna judge you and this and that. Yeah, you will. And sometimes we just don't want to go along
So what I'm hearing is,
dealing with that type of
if you do have
judgment.
sex with him, you were being in fear of being judged after?
Yeah, that was the reason why.
They going back down.
So okay. Because listen. So because you and the person want to have sex, the only reason you didn't have sex is you feel like he was gonna put you out there. How do you know that? That's an assumption.
It is an assumption.
Let me finish. But the man,
but my assumption didn't violate him. Do you see the difference?
How you know? We get violated too.
No, I'm saying it didn't physically violate.
I'm choosing not to fuck you cannot violate you.
They're mad because we just had a connection. Why you blocking?
Hold on.
Let me say
we have sex.
The interview be there tomorrow.
How am I going to judge you because you maybe have sex?
But you act like men don't have double standards all day long, and they do. Men feel like that they can have miles on their dick and it don't mean nothing, right? But the minute that a woman has been with people, and the thing is, if we're all in heterosexual relationship, I was somebody fucking somebody. So I mean, we ain't gonna be out here and be like, oh well, just because. And I feel like it boils down to however you conduct yourself, right? And you can't judge a woman for having like multiple sexual partners when you've had multiple sexual partners too, right?
That's fine.
Men do that all the time. Men ask you how many people you done had sex with, and not really want to know. They want you to lie.
I don't care what you had. You been right on me.
We've been conditioned to also assume these rules and so it's like, well, I am introverted. So it's acceptable.
Yeah.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like y'all,
she did that shit to somebody else. And that's fine. So I'm like,
but in y'all's head, y'all want to believe that she done got this freaky with 4 niggas. Like that's what y'all want to believe. 2 of them was her baby daddy.
They want to get this slut.
That's a nigga, baby. You talking about a nigga. You're not talking about everybody.
I feel you. I'm not saying that everybody is like that, but I'm saying that there are some men out there who make assumptions like that, and their expectations are all the way up here, and reality is all the way down here. And I ain't even finna go there. But anyway, so so if the consent gets muddled, I gave an example. And I don't mind sharing because it was back in college, and I was in college and I was a freshman and the guy was a junior. Yeah, he was a junior, and I was in his apartment and it was like 11 o'clock at night, and at that point, I grew up like super sheltered, and like I wasn't like out there like that. So I mean, I wasn't privy to the way that men can be predators, especially in college situations. College is completely different from like reality. Niggas is out there like in college just to be predators. I really feel like it's some dudes that I know for a fact that were like 30 plus years old and still in college, and I knew that it was just to prey on women who were naive. Like I really do believe that. But anyway, so I was in his apartment and he, offered me a drink. And I was like, no, I'm good. So we watching TV and he offered me another drink.
So did you say no because you knew what the drink would turn you into? Or?
No, it's...
You wouldn't even let her finish her story.
Hey, I can't mess with you.
No.
Okay.
Because this is a real...
Okay,
this is a real incident that happened to me. So he offered me a drink like 5 times. And so I went ahead and let him make me a drink. I took like a sip or 2. But it was just like on some trying to be nice. So I'm clear across campus from where I live. And I don't even know where I am ultimately because, like I said, I'm a freshman. And so I go to the bathroom, and I'm in the bathroom for a long time, and I'm trying to like think of how I'm going to get out of this situation. Didn't have no cell phone. This was before, all that went down. So I go back in there, I'm on the couch, and he starts trying to kiss me, and I'm like, I'm chilling, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm good. And so I was like, it's getting late, I think I should go. Like, I'm giving all of the hints that says that a woman is not feeling you, right? Or she's not trying to have sex with you. And so he got so aggressive at this point in time to where it was like I went ahead and just had sex with him even though I didn't want to, because I didn't want to be in the situation where I'm kicking and screaming and having to fight him off me. I would rather have not been physically harmed. And I would have taken I took the emotional harm over the physical harm because he was not about to let up out of the situation. I tried to leave, he wouldn't let me leave. And that's how the situation went down. But I know 100% that if somebody went and asked him if he raped me, he would definitely say no.
And what's the ramifications? Like, once you do all the kicking and screaming,
right,
you got to face the crowd of everybody. Well, like you said, why were you there that time of night?
Why you have a dress
Why
on?
did you go? But none of that matters because he shouldn't have even been, forcing himself upon you anyway. I know that you can agree with that, right, John? Do you? Possible. You've been in college before, right?
I
don't even think.
Okay, let me take it in.
So
ask me that again.
Do you feel like I was wrong for being over there? Do you feel like I should have assumed that he was going to try to have sex with me? And I was 17 when I went to college, so I'm 17 years old. I'm not old enough to drink. So he's definitely trying to like use the alcohol to coerce sex out of me.
Okay, so the first sign that you had of not wanting to be in that atmosphere, why didn't you just say, "Hey, take me home, or I'm about to leave"? Instead of assuming.
No, so I definitely tried to. I tried to.
She said she threw hands. Stop.
No. So I did. Go back and listen.
She said I threw certain hands to give out.
No, so I literally said I tried to leave and he wouldn't let me leave.
She did say that.
But that was before or after you didn't take the drinks. You say you went to the restroom, right?
I took like 2 sips of a drink because he kept trying to force me to take the drink.
So again, that's what you said.
I never even finished the drink. I took 2 sips.
But what made you take the drink?
Because he was forcing it on me.
She's 17 with a junior.
He's an adult.
You're talking about the variables. We're talking about what you're actually.
No, the variables matter.
Of a train of thought with 17-year-old.
The variables say that she's intimidated. She's intimidated. So why not remove yourself from?
She doesn't know where she's at.
I tried to leave. Like I physically tried to leave, and he shut the door and was like, "You ain't gotta go." This and that.
If he did that, then that's.
Then it flips. Yes, you didn't.
It's cut and dry. He's trying to.
But what I'm saying to you
I'm just saying
is that
rapey.
It sounds rapey.
Now that's where that word comes in, rapey.
So my point of this is
rapey is just rapey because he put his hand in the door and didn't make you feel comfortable.
But what I'm saying to you is about his perspective of
coerce a woman to fuck.
His perspective of the situation. His perspective of the situation was not that he raped me.
You feel uncomfortable because you wanted to leave and he didn't want you to leave, so you felt as though it was a form of rape.
It was rape.
Okay. No, I'm not.
But I think it's important to understand what rape is and what rape isn't.
Yes,
I mean, because I have a son going to college. So these are conversations that we actually have. And he has like a checklist that approves him to go to college away from my house because I don't want my son to be off at college having inappropriate interactions with young ladies that similar to what Drea's experienced.
And Pam Leah, she went to Commerce too.
And when you say, well, he kind of or he didn't, or you kind of say, well, those variables matter and what she should have did and what she shouldn't have did.
I'm saying to take yourself out of the equation.
But why can't the woman
believe it or not, baby, the woman's always control.
So let me, I'll give like a
I've never been around a woman that I control.
Have you ever been around a man who wants to have sex with you and you don't want to have sex with him?
No, I've never been.
But I'm saying that's our reality, not yours, so you can't impose your views on our reality is what I'm saying to you. You saying you ain't never been able to control a woman, that's your reality. You feel like you ain't never been able to control her, but you ain't never tried to strong arm nothing off her either. So that's what I'm saying. You don't know that dynamic until it's you in that situation, until you try to impose your will on somebody.
So how can we elaborate on the situation if we can't speak from our perspective?
I'm telling you to speak from your perspective, but I'm telling you to broaden your perspective. Like, yes, this is where you live, this is your tunnel vision, but there's a whole lot more shit that's outside of there.
Right.
And so I'm just asking you to open your perspective and see things from our reality as women, and this is the life that we live, and that these people are our homeboys. The guys that were commenting on my post is people I went to high school with, people that I genuinely respected, with people who are raising sons to believe this shit. That if a woman can't lay down on a couch with you and spoon with you and watch a movie without you saying that you gotta rip her clothes off of her.
Even if she has a parka on, he would try to tear her clothes off.
And that's what we were talking about, or how men's thought process, even like we were talking about earlier. I remember I was 19. I was at my aunt and uncle's house. I had this guy over. We were playing Scrabble. Now, of course, we didn't sleep together, but he went back and said that he felt like he could have fucked me because, I'm like, but we were playing Scrabble. I don't know how you got that or where that would have came from. We were playing Scrabble.
You must have started.
But that's what it leads to, though.
Y'all putting the same dude.
No, you're right. You're totally right.
But that's not.
But even kind of, and speaking back on that post that you made, we have like some of like the commentary to some degree.
Yeah.
One of the posts read like, with women, it's so easy to get y'all hints wrong. But usually, in my experience, if she is at the house after a date, the body language would tell me where she is at usually. But I would also get close enough and let her make the physical contact.
Right.
But two, I just would be hella familiar with folks. I wasn't fucking with someone I really don't know after a certain point, and after a certain age, everybody's straightforward as fuck anyway. Excuse me with the verbiage. I'm trying to.
And so, and that's what I feel like it's a misconception, especially nowadays, that with rape culture and with women with like the Instagram hoes and stuff like that, that we're constantly bombarded with, that we lose reality of what a real woman is like. And real women, like, yes, we like to be viewed as being attractive, right? Like, yes, we like for you to admire us. We like for you to say, hey, how you doing, beautiful, or whatever, even though we might be like, nigga, gone. But like, we still, like that we want to be respected. Right, we want to be respected at the same token. But what I think that y'all's reality gets so warped because everything is so sexualized now.
Exactly.
And that you feel like because a woman is feeling you, that she can't like you without wanting to fuck you. Like, at that point in time, and it's like,
I just want to know you. Like,
but when I'm
I know my manager watching. Hey, you gonna probably get mad at me what I'm about to say when I flip these glasses back up, but I'm gonna let you talk. Go ahead.
But that a woman can't like you without wanting to have sex with you. And the truth of the matter is that a woman, once she meets you and she decides that she wants to date you, right? You've already had some sort of conversation with her. She has already made up in her mind that she is probably going to have sex with you. She's okay with having sex with you. And that you don't have to force the situation. Why would you want to force the situation, right?
Why would you want her to, you should be a woman that wants to give it to you.
And I just need for men to understand that you actually talking about the sex does not stop it from happening. If we've already made up our mind that we want to have sex with you, you saying, hey, you want to have sex with me tonight? That ain't finna stop nothing. Thank you for asking. I'm glad you asked. Let's go. I mean, that is consent. You literally asking me, do I want to have sex with you? Because if you ask me and I say no, I'm able to walk away from that. We can continue tonight, right? But if you don't ask me and you assume that I want to have sex and you act on it, now I gotta go. Because if I stay, then you gonna keep trying because my presence is now consent to you. You feel like since I'm
She's
here,
giving me green stop signs.
You here?
Green
So
stop
you feel like
signs.
that if a, so you speaking for women. So in the situation, me and you on the couch, and I ask, and we talk about sex, that's not turning you off.
No.
And how many women
Unless
do
I
you
just
say
don't.
that?
I mean, I agree with her unless I don't want to sleep with you.
I'm
If I've already made up my mind and I'm saying that this is something that I do want to do, you talking about it is not going to stop it from happening. Now, if I don't want to, but if I don't want to do it,
what I'm saying to you is, how many times does a dude have a misconception? Yeah, of the situation, or he thinks that you like him. So he asks, well, shit, what's up with us
Men
doing?
be stupid.
And then he be like, hold on, listen. He be like, what you talking about? I ain't gave you that vibe. So his vibe was thrown off because he thought that you liked him. Or he thought
but now he know I don't want to have sex with him.
And then he can
I'm
move on. He's a girl.
That's better.
And he don't have to try to convince
It's better. It's better than you assuming and trying to have sex with me.
But when you do,
I've had men to think that just because, but I've seen men that just because we've exchanged phone numbers, just because we went out one night, I never once said I liked you. I was trying to get to know you, bastard. Like that's not a. So do you like me? I don't even know you to like you. So it's like, but I see that I've seen it happen. Like even recently, like I'm 30. Like how old are you, dude? Like you don't even know me to like me. You might think I'm pretty or something. You might think I'm cute, but you don't know me. But it's like just all. It's like so. I mean, so do you be thinking about me like I think about you? What? Like you, I don't even
But
remember your name.
I do feel like I will say this in some of you guys' defense that there are some women out there, like he said, who are having sex because I'm telling you that with the birth
I'm old school. I was brought up by my granny. I'm just be honest with y'all. The stuff that I see out here these days is I'm lost.
But I'm saying
I'm lost.
With the birth of the internet. Even the most lamest of niggas got room right now, right? So I mean, these inboxes like hello beautiful. This shit is working on somebody. It may not work on you. You might be annoyed, but it's working on somebody. He might catch somebody on their lowest night, but it is definitely working on somebody. Niggas be out there playing the eyes. Hell, I got 1,500 hoes. I'm gonna say hello beautiful. Somebody gonna.
But let's acknowledge too. There's a difference between admiring
100
and
no's,
objectifying.
Right.
So there's a huge difference. So even too, it's like, well, y'all saying y'all don't want to be admired. Like we love a compliment. We like to be admired, but
you mean I don't care.
But I'm saying being objectified is a total different. That's a horse. Like wait a minute.
But I do feel like that there's some truth.
So if you out fucking me, like that's not consent.
I'm saying if we make eye contact, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Like what? So I'm raping you in my eyes.
You talking?
Is that raping?
And our eyes are intertwined, and you staring at me. And we stand back.
Ain't we talking?
We're talking about eyes.
Eye contact. That's what I said.
Okay.
But
go ahead. Let him finish. Let him finish.
All at your booty.
Yeah, they look.
No, let him finish.
There's the body language.
Let him
That's not what I'm
finish.
saying.
Go ahead.
I'm saying I fucking. You're across the room and I'm across the room.
Right.
We ain't said nothing, but we just stared each other to the eyes. So when I approach you, I automatically feel like it's a chemistry because you've been staring at me in my eyes.
Right.
So is that consent for me to come talk to you about what's going on?
You can come and talk to me. I don't think there's anything wrong with coming to talk to a woman. It's right that you're at a bar and y'all most of the time we be looking at y'all for other reasons. We don't like being stared at. I don't know why niggas do that shit. Y'all will stare at a woman. And it's like, so you just gonna stare at me, creep? Like what you doing?
I don't get it. You got on makeup, you got your all Gucci and gold. You don't want us to look at you?
No!
I want you to walk up to me and speak.
You don't have to be disrespectful like licking your niggas still be with the 1996 Birdman hand rub like
I'm telling you, I'm a super gentleman because I've learned and like I have a daughter. So it's different. Like I changed my whole
that's creepy.
You know what I'm saying, perspective on how I treat
and
women.
You do the up and down look
since I was like maybe 26.
If you lick your lip and look
You
over
LL licked his lips. Y'all love that shit. Wait a minute, my
I was
glasses
too
on.
young to love LL licking.
You love his lips at
If a
7.
dude
You
is
a lie.
lying me,
You a lie.
right?
Like
You lying.
And he thinks I'm attractive,
You lying.
and he's rubbing his
Ask them girls on that post. They love everybody love LL.
like, you know, what's up?
Everybody love LL. Your granny still love LL.
And the fact of the matter is, because I got a habit of doing it, and it's not. So I feel like
If you're just licking your lips,
Now
you
he
lick
over
your
there
lips, and
checking
that's fine.
No,
You just go
because
get
I
you
don't
some
want nobody to say-
chapstick.
I don't want nobody to say nah.
But I'm saying, like, you know how, like, if you staring at a chick.
Yeah, that's
and-
weird though. I'm
and-
not gonna do no weird stuff.
But I'm talking about the weird stuff.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm talking about the weird stuff. I'm not talking about you naturally
I'm gonna hit
licking
you.
your lips. That's not what I'm saying. It's a whole vibe, like the hair sideways and the hands, and it's like, hey, you know what I'm saying?
It's not
It's
like
like, get your lame ass.
Y'all like T.I. too.
Read the other comments.
We don't like T.I.
When he was licking his lips. He was licking his lips. Every time he said a
I
word,
don't like.
you know what I'm saying?
Clarice said,
You know what I'm saying?
let's see. Somebody had commented on the
I'm a
post and
guy.
said, I'm a guy. I'm always gonna make the first move. This right here upset me so much.
See, that's the rapey shit we
No,
talking about.
because I know this person, and it just really. It broke my heart to hear him talk like this. He said, I'm a guy. I'm always going to make the first move regardless if she gives me a hint or not. If she says no, I'm respectful and I keep my hands to myself. But why do you feel like you're respectful? Because you reacted to a situation instead of
Respect
controlling
her not to
yourself.
ask.
Right? Like,
Why would you ask for something that you're feeling?
I don't know.
because you
Well,
don't.
it turns down the enticement. Like,
No, it doesn't.
can we have sex?
Because every kiss
Versus,
begins with
I'm
consent.
just, you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
I hear you. I hear
Right,
what you're
right.
saying.
Every kiss begins with consent.
But have you?
That's my 11-year-old daughter told me.
Have you
She was
ever-
like,
Right,
every
can I kiss you there?
I have a question.
Is that okay?
You may not kiss me.
I don't see nothing
Okay.
wrong with that. Have you ever had a girl tell you that y'all had sex sooner than what she wanted to?
All the time.
Sooner than what she wanted
All the
to?
time. You want to be honest? I can be real honest with you if you want me to.
But what do you feel like played into that?
Heartthrob over there.
Yeah. I'm
can't
just telling
keep
you,
him off.
I
don't
dealt
know
with
how they
that
time
throughout
to be.
high school and
But what do you feel like played into her having sex with you sooner than she wanted?
Because I invited her into the situations. Like I said, I've never had that problem. I've
You
always
invited her
had
into
the problem
situation.
where the
Explain
woman
her.
is.
Explain that you invited
I've
her.
been raped.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Hey man,
Don't say that.
I was forced to have
sorry
sex, and
that
I just wanted to
happened.
chill and spoon
I'm sorry
and
that
just
happened to
admire
you.
you as a woman. Yes, I've been in that situation, so you can't say a man can be raped. Yes, he can be
woman
raped.
raped you,
We
bro.
just-
Really?
I ain't saying rape like
I
I'm
just
saying
said I'm
on the
sorry it
precedent that
happened to
y'all
you.
speaking on.
So aggressive.
As far as that's
It's
your
okay,
boys
so
over
here that's turning
Because
down
I'm
with
gonna
that.
tell you, and I'm gonna be honest because I was a teenager when it happened, so I
Let him
felt.
talk. Let him talk.
Everybody
Look.
talking, y'all. Let
The
him-
reason I actually had sex with her is because I felt that I had to, otherwise she would have, it was a different vibe. So she makes the same way that y'all feel, a man can feel the same way.
But
Yeah.
you were
I'm not saying it's
teenager. So we
impossible.
were a kid and she was older at that point, right?
No, we talking about consensual sex.
Oh, I thought you said you were a teenager.
You said you were raped.
And you were raped.
So
But
then we're
you
not talking about
saying, we
consensual
saying
sex.
rapey, right? You saying,
What
we
he's
talking about the
saying
rapey.
is that
So we're putting the rapey on the men, the women now. We're not talking about men no more rapey.
You're
We're talking about
saying that
women
a
rapey.
girl
Go ahead.
wanted it. You didn't.
I didn't want it.
because you
I
were
was
in high
just
school,
chilling.
But you didn't want to look
It
like.
had nothing to do with
a
high
punk.
school. I said from
But you
high
said you
school
were
up
a
until like
teenager.
maybe 20
Okay,
something.
how old were you when it happened? Because you're confusing us.
Oh, yeah.
Did you feel intimidated by
I
her?
can't be specific
You
like
know
that.
something
Yes,
else
you
around
can.
her. You can tell your story.
But
here.
no, so my question is, did you feel intimidated
Your
by
secret
her?
is safe with us.
That's what I just
and
said.
our-
I
and
felt
our
intimidated
viewers.
if I didn't do it because of dealing with peers, first. Second, it was
I'm saying, did you
I
feel
was taught
intimidated
to
by her?
shit, knock a bad bitch down. This is what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying
Isn't
is,
that rape? We talking about to knock a bad bitch down.
Yeah, like we got time. What are you talking about?
right, but I'm
I think that's
asking him,
important.
did he feel intimidated by her?
Yes.
How old were you again?
I would say maybe 23.
Okay.
She was.
Okay, so that was
31.
that was a rapey situation
To me.
because she was way more
But
experienced.
then I feel like, but then his response was saying he's been conditioned to knock a bad bitch down. So in
whether he
essence-
wants to or not, I can believe that.
Yeah, but then
It's a pressure.
he still.
I can
Yeah, that's what I'm
believe
saying. Like it's like.
So you get to a certain age, it don't matter.
Yeah, so now that I'm older and I
So she
realize
forced
what I
herself
want
on
from
you,
a
though?
woman, I don't
Oh,
even
you did feel the
put myself in that
Because you're celibate.
Like I said, you
I
ain't
feel
come
like
to my
if-
house. I'm not celibate. I didn't say like super.
You said celibate.
I said
You did celibate
a
earlier,
sense of
right?
celibacy.
He likes
So let me reframe
He
that.
says he does not have
I'm trying to
community dick.
practice
He's
not,
selective. He's
you know, just
selective about who he
taking
lets
on what's
alone.
coming at me. You know,
Jesus, take the wheel.
I do want to be married. You know, yeah, like I just want a different lifestyle. I've changed everything about my whole MO. So yeah, it's
So you
just,
master self-control?
yes.
Having a daughter would do that.
So,
You
but
can strip right here and all I'm be looking at is that piece of shirt.
I'm not gonna do
And
that.
I
So-
won't
You
touch
don't
it at
have to
all.
worry about that.
I
That's
feel-
fine.
I
I'm just
feel
saying
like-
you said self-control.
I feel like
Actually-
you've added some perspective to the conversation from a male's view because we don't talk about experienced women going out and taking advantage of younger men because they do. And I feel like that kind of adds to the narrative almost, where it's like, okay, well, she might have wanted it, so maybe this girl, maybe all women are like that, right? And some men might have seen their mom with several men, and so they just have a natural distrust for women and tend to not view them as human beings and more like possession and property, things of that sort. So that happens within our community a lot, is that we just, I think the men have to make a conscious effort to view a woman as an equal being. And I don't think that in our culture we push that enough, is that a woman is an equal being. She's not something, a possession. She's not a concubine. She's not a notch on your belt. She's not any of those things. She's an equal being. She
Right.
is definitely the opposite of you.
So when we sit on this bed, I'm trying to respect you as a woman, and I just want to get
But-
to know you.
right,
What's
but
your
I'm saying-
colors? What's
But when you
what's your
don't,
favorite color?
but when
like
you
what's your
don't,
sign? Like
there
what,
is
what
no-
do you like to do?
Why can't you
there is
I-
no other definitive way to
the
determine.
phone is passed if you're at my house.
But I'm
Yeah, that's
saying
already-
there is no
That
other
phone
definitive
interview
way
first.
to determine if a woman wants to have sex with you outside of you verbally asking
See, that's
her
why you
if she
single.
wants to have
You gotta
sex
think
with
about
you.
it too, though. Now, how many
I'm
people
single 'cause I wanna
nowadays
be.
really
You
take
are
the time to
single
get to
'cause you
know
wanna be live.
one another before they have sex?
hate
I don't
when
even
they
care if
say
you get to know her or
single 'cause you wanna
not.
be.
You can
You're
ask her,
single
do she
'cause
want
it's
it?
a man that
And
makes
if she
you feel
want
that
it, she
way.
gonna take
Why you
it.
wanna Open your heart.
Like, I'm just saying there's nothing that,
Be
women,
real.
we're sexual beings too. Like,
That's fine. So we have to.
y'all
You
have
need
to
to hurry up
get out
and
there.
open up and
For y'all.
take a shit. Cause I ain't drinking no juice or nothing. Oh, sorry. We're gonna go to the sidebar. I'm sorry.
totally confused.
bro.
You know?
This dude gonna try to tell me my whole life story.
But
So
what
why
I'm-
are you single?
Because
Just
she's
to get
not
off
in
a
a
little bit of
relationship.
topic. Cause what?
Because she's not in a relationship.
But so,
What?
Nobody invest in my piece.
Nobody wants to invest in your pizza business?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
joking like I'm a, but
Cash at 30-something.
Right.
That's towards Ann's
Pizza
Pizza
or
business.
it's actually Lisa's pizza.
Lisa's
is it?
Pizza.
Is that your cash app?
No.
Oh, her drink. Oh, she for real
I
about
was
the
about to
drink.
believe it. I was about to believe
That's
it.
what I'm
Yeah,
in my
but she
pizza,
don't know what she got
restaurant.
going on.
You should do it.
Lisa's pizza.
I believe in it. But I just think a lot of times that guys don't even account for the fact that I mentioned this earlier when we weren't on the air, is that most women have been introduced to sex in an abnormal way.
Yeah.
Like, we've been introduced to sex like way too soon. We've been, victims of sexual violence, and usually people respond to things a different way. And it's like, you have to, if you're interested in a woman, even if it's just to have sex with her, you still have to value her as a human being, like with a mind and with experiences and circumstances. And you have to consider the fact that even though you may not know her, that she might have got molested.
Yeah.
She might have got raped by the last nigga she was alone with. Like, you have to take all these things into consideration before you start going penis first into incidents with women. I'm serious. It seems like, and I'm gonna tell you this, like, it seems like with men that they cool with you until their dick gets hard, but once their penis is hard, then all rationale is out the window. I got to get this down. I got to get this nut out. Like,
Nah.
and that's what
See, I
it.
like to take my time.
But that's what
So
it.
that's a whole
But
different
I'm telling you,
story
that's
another
how.
day.
That's
Yeah.
how we look at it, and it's
Every man I
like,
like
You let
that.
it control your lower neck.
Right.
You don't be like,
It don't even ride.
I do understand what you're saying.
so as I'm
Or you
But
can
even
just sit there and kind of like, play it out till it go down. You be respectable with it. So you wouldn't even know if I called her Willie and I knew the vibe that we wasn't finna do nothing. You wouldn't even know.
He said Willie.
Actually, I just left meetings, so yeah. You have to
So
look professional when you're doing what I'm doing. Sorry, I can't wear all those shirts.
And also, like, it's not.
You heard me? I think she's digging me or something. Let me, which phone you want, baby? You want to put your number in one of these? We can go out.
And also, like, it's not just to consent to the actual sex act itself. I just think that, like, men are super sexual and, like, they just say that, they're hypersexual and they just say, like, the most, like, weirdest things and, like inappropriate.
Which phone?
Yeah, like, which phone you want me to
We can go out. Which phone you want to put your number in, baby?
How do you...
I want to say I am country, but I didn't say it like that. You said, made me sound like an Uncle Tom. Which phone you want to put your phone in, baby? You made me sound like a sugar daddy.
That's what they mean by even though you were joking, I know you were.
Yeah, I've been messing with. I wouldn't even approach you that way.
It was safe.
Especially not on the live.
Majority of dudes approach girls like that.
Some dude might actually.
You know how many women watching my face?
I done had a dude snatch my phone out my hand and call himself from my phone.
Then we can talk. You trying to be a wife?
You married though, huh?
Yeah, we've been together for 13 years.
A lot of weird stuff going on. Like, people are like really trying to.
Niggas are weird, is what I'm saying. I'm saying that because dudes don't care.
Look, she was molested by her people's or whatever was going on when she was young.
Right.
When she was younger.
And
so
that
she
might
felt like
have
every man that she was attracted
wanted to have sex with her.
But
even to I think that goes back to certain women wanting certain things. So while some women might not mind being sexualized with someone else, if you've experienced it all your life, that's like the last thing you want. You're like, actually, I want you to respect me. I want you to see me as your equal or whatever. And you do whatever you do to curve that.
Right.
Can I ask you a question? Do you feel like when we were in high school that men were more respectful? Or is that,
I wasn't dealing with men like that in high school.
Okay, well now, okay, and
heck nah, she was
from you were 34. Do you feel like from your young perspective of growing, do you feel like the world has changed with men? There's no more chivalry, or why do you feel about all men are the same? Because
I don't feel like all men are the same.
Okay,
I feel like that there is a sense of the majority being a certain type of way, and this is like from my own personal experiences as an adult. And like dudes don't care about you being in a relationship. Like guys will be.
I don't put myself
women don't either.
But bottom line,
women don't either.
See, that's right. I would say some dudes don't care about you being in a relationship. They don't. They feel like
I care about them because that automatically brings some drama.
There you go.
I don't even know of men where they're physically aggressive, like touching you, and they could know you could be married or whatever.
Right.
And it's one thing.
That's
and that's what I'm saying. Like the men like say like slightly inappropriate stuff to you. I feel like men like they try to like test the waters to see what they can get away with or see what kind of female you are.
The pheromones. Some men don't know how to handle your pheromones. They come off like, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit is real. Like, that's what we don't take into account.
There's too many conversations going on.
Right.
But and it's funny you say that. Yeah, I've been in a relationship for 13 years, but it ain't stopped dudes from like being weird and inappropriate, and that ain't never mattered. Like oh, how you nigga doing? How you baby doing? And then like just say some real crazy off the wall. Yeah, say some more crazy off the wall shit, and it's like. Well, damn, like, and it's like, I'm not the type to go home and be like, babe, guess what happened today? Because I'm not trying to, like, put that in his... No, I mean, he gonna watch it. He don't... We don't have that problem.
I'm just messing.
I'm just saying, like, we really don't have that problem. He understands that I'm attractive and that guys are going to try to do stuff, but I don't think he understands to the extent that they try to do stuff. And a lot of times I do feel like it's my fault because I'm not this real... Like, I have a strong personality, right? But... It's with my life story. If I'm in a situation with like I can cower down, like I can become very small, and I feel like sometimes it is my fault when stuff happens because I should have been that super assertive person that I'm always, you know, when I'm online and when the person that my friends see was like, bitch, you don't have to tolerate this and that. I feel like I should always be that person. So I feel like it is my fault because I come off super assertive, and a guy would maybe assume that, oh, if she didn't want it, she would definitely tell me. She would, right? And so since I don't, then it's like, oh, would they get to like say like nasty things or like be out of the way and stuff like that? And then it's like, oh, well, I ain't heard from you in like 2 or 3 days, and it's like, nigga, I'm good on you. Like, I thought we was cool. Like, you done said something out the way. Like, and what do I look like? I don't even know how my dude gonna take the shit. It was like, well, why you even let niggas say the shit in the first place. And it's like, you just, it's a whole mindset. And I just feel like guys need to just understand boundaries. Like, you can still have a sex life without violating.
I'm going to say they wasn't taught.
That's all I was going to say.
But even
teaching it at home.
Guys are not teaching them for you to do that. So the internet's teaching them. Music is teaching them, so they feel like if I got money, that they can say whatever they want to say. But ain't no father teaching no sons about how to be a man, how to open the door, how to be a gentleman. So that's where it's wrong at. So you have to understand the psychology of the black
all the
man,
way,
come all the way down, and then you will understand where people coming from. That's why I want you to say, stop thinking it's all men.
I don't think it's all men.
No, I'm not saying, it's a cycle of what people are got.
I do agree.
So the cycle continues because the men ain't teaching.
I just think it's the view of women. Like, I mean, I've been around men who are gentlemen and they got money and power and influence, and they view women the same fucking way as a nigga on the block. Like, it's the same shit, and it's the thought process of males. And I feel like when you start injecting certain things, it gets worse. When you start injecting money, then it gets worse. When you start injecting stature, then it gets worse. Like, then you get a sense of entitlement that comes to.
How can a man be a gentleman but he views you as a hoe?
But going back to it, it's kind of
because he understands how the game goes.
Exactly.
So when's the game? So wait a minute.
But even in the instance of trying to like I knew a guy that he mentored people, right? So he mentored wealthy, worked for some of the elite, blah, few businesses, and his game was, I mentor people, I mentor women, I mentor men, however, it was like, I met him through a girlfriend, she was her cousin, introduced them, he helped her get a job, whatever, it was a great job, it was like, but it not necessarily, I wouldn't even say of him, but okay, so going back to one, as a male or female, I feel like a mentorship in general should always be platonic. There should never be anything mixed in between. You don't cross those lines. And I remember one day just kind of having a conversation with him. And it was kind of, he was telling me this story about this young lady that tried to sleep with him who he was mentoring. But then he kind of mentioned too, but we're all adults. What? But it was like you could definitely tell he's insinuating. So if there was something
that he's using this platform.
But if I wanted to,
but going back to comes across like a gentleman, I'm trying to help you. What I also picked up on was, so I knew women that were really on their stuff, and really they just needed because nepotism is big, period. Especially in Texas. If you know the right people, you're gonna get the right. You're gonna get what you need, right? But it was like I noticed that the solid women, or solid people, he didn't want to work with them. He always wanted to work with the people that might have had these personal issues,
the projects.
Because even one time he wanted to help me with something, he tried to offer me money. And I said, I don't need your money. I need you to show me what you did so I can do this too. Your money, that's gonna help me in this right this second. But in the long run, I need your skill set.
Scared of strong women.
That's a fact.
But even that, so it's like
when you got a strong woman. You can't
manipulate it. Because some men don't know how to have mature relationships. Not all men, some men.
Oh. Yeah, so Jonathan said, I've seen people who have been taught, but once you are grown and you make a decision to go with what you have been taught or not, just like people are taught to not have sex before marriage doesn't mean it happens.
Bring it back to even how we were kind of talking about the situation you put yourself in, being somewhere at 2 a.m. We often hear when we do hear things about rape, well, what did she have on?
Right.
What was she wearing? Or where was she at? Exactly.
So what if a man asked you that he just met you,
so
and y'all just came from
what is this?
Hold on.
Let her. What is this?
So when it comes up, so we have these pictures, and these pictures are images of the clothes that were worn by people that were victims of rape.
The little girl dress.
That's a museum?
Yeah, it's actually a traveling museum. So
okay.
Yeah.
That's something you do?
No, I don't take pictures.
How do you get into that?
What do you choose? I guess when you choose to advocate for people.
Right.
So even with this one, she's like, what were you wearing? I missed a couple of days of work after she was raped. She was like, when I told my boss, she asked me this question. I said, she asked me this question. I said, a t-shirt and jeans, bitch. So you asked her what she had on. And
what
so,
do you wear to the basketball game?
Right. I walked out and never came back.
I would have found me a whole claim on that job. This is a 6-year-old child that had a sundress on.
Oh, yeah, that's sick. Yeah, that's awesome. We talking about women. Fast forward to the women clothes. I don't even
the t-shirt.
But going back to it, predatory things occurs to women of all ages. Men too, because even too, people don't realize even black men and brown men are like number one. They right next to us as far as being sexually assaulted.
I'm like Young Thug, right?
And going back to too, it's like sometimes women, like, we're not necessarily dressing to be objectified. We're dressing because we want to be cute. We thinking we fly. Like this was
right.
You know, it's had absolutely nothing
And
to
this
do with
girl,
like,
she
hey,
said she has
come
a
fuck
cute
me.
mini dress. She loved it the moment she saw it. I had some killer heels too. I just wanted to have a good time that night, look cute and hang with my sisters. He kept getting me shots over and over again. The next thing I remember is crawling around on the floor looking for that stupid dress.
Wow. So you went from the club to being naked?
Yeah, because she got drunk.
Or
Wow.
and not even just rape. What about that girl that went home with somebody in the club and ended up in the back of his
In
truck
Atlanta?
dead?
No, the girl from Dallas went viral. They went to Atlanta, and he was like,
I mean,
on the floor.
and
I don't think it's all men or anything like that. But I think
the consent was.
it's not all men, but if the shit happens enough, where we have to be able to talk about it. We need to have a clear conversation of what consent looks like.
Why is it all?
If he drunk,
Why is it
They
all?
raped you, yeah, it's
Why is it my responsibility? Why do you feel like it's my responsibility that it is solely my responsibility to prevent myself from being raped?
Because the woman controls the situation.
No, so this
That's
is
what
why
granny
I
always
teach
told
my
me.
son.
But then men are
My granny always told me that the woman
And the
controls.
woman controls the
Women
situation.
have been in this rape culture for so long that the older women are teaching the younger kids. You shouldn't have been there. That's one of the things that I experienced when I was raped. The reason why I didn't want to tell my mom or anything is because she was going to say, why were you even there? Why did you get in the car? Why did you? That's not something you should be teaching your
body
daughter, because that's what's going to keep
shaming
them
your
from
kids.
telling you.
Yeah, right on.
Right. Exposing the people that are doing it to them. That's not a good thing to keep teaching them.
And it shouldn't even be acceptable for the man's intent to give the woman a drink or to do anything to take advantage of her. So as a mom with sons, it's my responsibility to say, okay, these are the things that you shouldn't be doing. I shouldn't be telling him to, well, if the girl kind of says yes, you can still go ahead, or you can, you can decide if you want to take it or not. No, I should be telling him if she gives off any impression, not even that.
If she
don't go in
right.
trying to fuck. How about that? And just leave it like that.
Right.
I mean, I don't understand why it's, well, what she have on? Well,
why
she's remotely uncomfortable.
Right. And when the guys kept asking me why I need variables to the situation, I'm like, why do you need variables to control your dick? Like, that's what I was trying to, I'm like, why is it that it has to be something that we're doing because your dick got hard and now I mean, I maybe I can control myself, maybe I can't. I mean, just depending on how fine is she? Is she like Jada Pinkett fine? Or is she like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like all of these qualifiers that niggas need to control themselves. All I asked was, if you are in a situation with a woman that you are dating and you like her and she feeling you and you get aroused, how hard is it for you to keep from having sex? Well, had I had sex with her before? Does it matter if you had sex with her before?
The first situation. I understand what you
Right. So I don't understand why we need all these qualifiers for you to control yourself.
So what if you had sex with him before and then you go over there and you didn't know she wasn't trying to have sex, and that's what y'all usually do? What do you do? What is the man? What do you do for
so what I would think is that I feel like once you've had sex, then
you're gonna have sex again.
Well, yeah, you're gonna have sex again.
If we only had sex once, ain't nothing.
But what I'm saying, there's no guarantee. But I feel like if we've had sex before, then I feel more inclined to be vocal about saying, I don't feel like fucking you. Like I'm good.
So if you haven't had sex with him before, it's rapey.
But I think it's rapey if I tell you no. If we had sex before and I tell you no, it's a no.
But I'm thinking you're playing like.
How is that rapey? You say no to motherfucker.
How is she playing? How is no playing?
I'm saying, listen, this is how
But y'all don't never ask
line.
in
Y'all talking about
the
that
first
thin line. It goes in the fact in the sense of matter like the guy is already in their mind like, hey, I've smashed her before, so when I get over her, I'm smashed. It's 2 a.m. I'm smashed.
It's what?
Assumption between the two people.
Sometimes women do like to have that whole chase. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they want a
they
guy
stop,
to come after them, stop and no and stuff like that.
So you don't know when the.
But then
But as
sometimes
a
when I
man, you
see,
should be taught, even if she do
He
that.
should have self-control.
Because I feel like that's the same girl that's gonna say you raped her.
If a girl is playing games,
Because I feel like she gonna say that you raped her.
but I would say I remember.
Tell me to choke her during sex. Wait a time out.
Wait. Yeah, I ain't doing that.
I've seen that I've slept with a guy. And like literally, I decided after that, like, you know, we should just be friends.
So he was
very
like,
adamant, very adamant.
That's what it was.
What he was playing just
He didn't make you
wasn't.
come.
It wasn't like.
Okay.
Just
we get it.
wasn't. But I decided, you know, you're really cool. We should just be friends.
didn't
We
like
should just be
That's
friends.
all it was.
It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, though, we
They
still
would make you
have
bust
fun.
3-4 times.
So
You
I
call
can
in the
give
morning.
you-
You ain't leave. You ain't even leave. Stop stunning. You ain't even leave.
Again.
Exactly.
So I'm saying I didn't give you.
That's fact. We're gonna talk real shit though. Let's
But
be
even
real.
to be serious though, if I
Yeah.
decide that if I would want, if it was that great, I'd still be
Right,
friends,
right. We don't get
So
off
the
topic.
fact is, I was very clear. I'm not interested. I don't like. We can be friends. We
I
can be
know
cool.
you.
Blah blah blah. Now after that, so I think we had like a. It was like we had mutual friends. So I ended up going somewhere like where we all there. I left something. It was like we were all gonna go one place. Decided not to. Went to go grab something, left in the house, and all of a sudden it was like lock the door, trying to keep me. Stop. I'm trying to go. Stop. I'm trying.
Listen.
So that's raping.
Yeah.
I've watched that. Look, I feel like
That's like 12-year-old
when
boy
he
peer
walked
pressure.
in, and I don't think he computed his actions. I think it was more so, hell, y'all see us. Shit, she think I'm forget that shit real quick before we go back.
So that's
It's just
acceptable.
It's a different. I'm not
But
saying
even
it's
as a woman,
acceptable. I'm just saying that could be the train of thought.
Women
for
like
the man.
sex too, so it's not always so. So believe me, if
Right.
I wanted to give you
Cause y'all
something,
want it more than
you
us.
would
To be
have
honest,
known.
could you be the first woman in America to say that? That y'all want sex more than us?
Depend on the person.
She
So like depend on the guy. But going back to if I wanted to do it, you definitely know. You would. There's no. I wouldn't be like no, stop. No, I'm like I'm already in the room. Like you coming?
Right.
I definitely didn't give out that vibe, but it was like. But I will say that it's like, well, since we like, is he wrong? Because I
Right.
did sleep with him before, so.
Man,
Is that my
feel,
fault?
I don't like waking up in mid-stroke. Like I don't like that. I don't like. I feel like. Because also when people are in relationships.
But you married.
Well, I don't. This is my body. That's what I'm saying. I don't. I have to give consent every time.
So you can be raped and married?
Yes.
Oh, man,
People,
that's a whole nother
guys can
story
rape their
in
wife.
scope. We gotta come back.
Can rape their wife.
Yeah.
Wow.
Next
I've
week
never
on
heard that.
30s.
Right?
Next week on
Married and raped.
Definitely.
Raped while
You be
married.
I'm gonna
in.
let it take that thing whenever. I pay for that thing for life. I need that. I had a long day. I need to come up off of this tension.
That
And
is
I'm
not
gonna
my
cook for you.
problem.
I'm finna rub your feet. We finna run that bow water. Yeah, we finna.
Right,
Yeah.
please go
Like,
cheat.
what?
You rather run, please go cheat. I'm
It's
sorry.
up. Yeah, like what you talking about? I got this whole ring on. We can't have sex.
Because this is my body.
Part of the marriage.
You said it's
You,
part of the
I'm not here for your release.
Like 90%.
Came from a thought. So what made you come to that assumption?
That this is my body.
That's why I was just gonna ask. Like,
I
what
was
made
going
you
with
feel
it.
that? No, I ain't saying like that. I'm saying
What
like,
makes me feel like what?
where he came,
They
like
feel
mid stroke you. Like you
Like
said.
raping because
I'm saying that is.
Don't
Where
put
that-
the
where that
camera
come
I
from?
won't classify that as being. I will classify it as being insensitive
to your
to me as a human being who is asleep. That shit is rude. And so.
So what if he wakes you up with like oral sex?
No.
No, that's not even cool.
No, listen.
I never heard of that.
Wait, shit.
Oh my God.
Wait till I wake up. I'm saying, or wake me up and be and then.
Let me go.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything.
If I mess with you while you getting your bundles with and your little makeup and shit, you ain't trying to hear. Let me hear you from the back of the head. Oh my God.
No, it's a personal thing. So I just wasn't.
I'm just saying, like,
You said wait
you gonna
till
get it? I'm hurt. Like, just like you ain't got.
While you're in the clapping mood, I like to give a big round of applause to my band.